Well, it's official. Uh, the people of Tisovec, Slovakia, like Reese's Pieces. Anyhow, I guess last evening, a couple of our delegates from Tisovec uh, enjoyed their time at a local store and have indulged in the purchase of some candy. But um, I find that strikingly refreshing because I myself, um, being as fat and portly as I am, I too like my candy, especially chocolate. But the purpose of this video at this time is to express a thought, and it's not really a formed thought. Uh, I just want to let it roll out as it is. Last night we had uh, our dinner, if you will, where we uh, had the delegates of Tisovec there, all eight, and about 29 other people. So we had 37 people in attendance. And we had some opening remarks, and a delegation from Tisovec, two of them that are in the Parliament, officially made an invitation for our mayor to attend their uh, town festivities July of 2014. They are celebrating their 680th year. That's the earliest recorded documentation of Tisovec. And when that was announced, I was astounded. I was blown away. Uh, I'm one that has always spent his life in the United States, uh, except for that week in 2012 when I went to Slovakia. And so it's interesting from an American perspective, an American who's always been landlocked, to hear the term 680 years when his own country is only what, 200 or 300 years. And so you just don't hear 680 years for any community in America. uh, sure, you hear lots of 100 years, you hear lots of 150 years, and on the east part of the United States, you'll even hear 200 years or a little more, but not 680. I was astounded, but it got me thinking that, and this is something just an infant perspective, uh, but it must give that wonderful people of Tisovec, Slovakia, a great sense of, maybe you can call it pride or confidence in their community, uh, to be celebrating this momentous occasion, 680 years. And I try to equate that with myself, and what would my feelings be in my heart and in my mind if I was celebrating 680 years of Shenandoah, Iowa. I've always been a fan of history. I've always been a fan of old architecture and buildings that still stand, statues and things of that nature. And I can only imagine uh, immense pride. Maybe, maybe the word pride is not correct. I want to call it an incredible sense of self-identity. I guess in my own mind, that's probably more proper. But I can only imagine the degree of self-identity that I would have in connection with my community if my community was 680 years old. And it's interesting. We last year when we went over to Slovakia, uh, on the way back, we finished out the last day of our trip and spent that in Budapest because that's where we were flying out of, and so we just spent the day and then the evening there. And I was blown away at the amount of history that was in Budapest and the old architectures and the wonderful statues and things of that nature. It was a humbling, in a weird sort of way, a humbling thing for me that these things are still standing despite the many wars and contentions that mankind has inflicted upon them. And the same goes true with Tisovec. There's an old church that is still being used, and I've learned that over there in Europe, it's known as probably the coldest church. And granted, there's not a whole lot of heating in that building. It is still a wonderful building because of its history. It's got a rich history. It's got an architecture, and it's still being used and maintained by its faithful followers. And I don't know. Maybe it's something that we as Americans will identify with someday. I know we have a deep appreciation for Philadelphia and the things that have taken place there in our history, Washington, D.C., and other places. We have a kinship and appreciation for various battlefields and historic places of the Civil War, because that was a very pinnacle point in our history. But my thoughts for today, I guess, is my humbleness that came about me when I heard 680 years that this wonderful community with an outstanding degree of citizens celebrating their 680th year. And of course also that they do like their chocolate, their Reese's Pieces. It was good. But those are my thoughts for today. I don't know why I'm making this video journal of our sister city visit from Tisovec, except maybe to hopefully instruct a people out there that great benefits can come from this program. And we have a high degree of hope for a lot of the projects that we are currently installing and have yet to install between our two communities for the benefit of our posterity and our nations and for all humankind to come. And so with that, I'm sure I'll be producing a couple more videos of my thoughts between now and Sunday evening when they leave Monday morning. So that'll be it for now. Thank you.